Morning viewers, today I am at Great Basin National Park. I want to show everyone the campgrounds in this fantastic park. It is a great mountain range. I mean, it's called the Snake Range. It is huge. These peaks, they're 12,000, 11,000, 10,000, and 13,000 foot. They're massive. And as you can see, there's still snow on it. And we're almost in May. We're almost in the month of May, and it's cold. It actually snowed on me last night, but today looks like a beautiful day. So we're going to check out the five, I believe there's 5 campgrounds in this area. The Baker Creek, the Lehman Creek. We cannot go to the very top because of the closure. They have the road closed. But we're going to go up to as far as we can go. Behind me is the Lehman Cave Visitor Center and entrance. We were just on it. I'll post some pictures of it. Pretty cool cave, nice little tour. You know, it's worth the money going in there. Helps the national park, and if you're a veteran, you get a discount. So it's good to be a veteran like myself. They do have a small little snack bar up there that serves coffee and I think breakfast. They serve a breakfast, and they also have a gift shop with t-shirts and games and things like that. Way out there, you can see it. That is called the Snake Valley. This is the main road coming up. It's the I think it's called the Sunset or Sunrise, or it's the Summit Road, and it goes right up here. You can see this is the Upper Lehman Creek campground, and that gate was closed yesterday because there was a little bit of snow. And I think they were worried about the road up. But this is where you can actually park. If you were camping at Lower Lehman, you would come up here, park your vehicle, and then you can do hiking up here. And this right here would be closed. It just opened up last week. This campground was closed also. So it doesn't open up until April 28th or a couple of days before that. But you can see this is the campground here. And then the summit to Mather's Point and up on Alpine Lakes. And finally, there's a campground up there, which is 10,500 foot. It's pretty high. And that road is curvy. I wouldn't suggest a small RV can go up there, but long ones, I would say no way. So let's talk about this campground, which I think is beautiful. And it's a nice one, and you can still see the snow up in the mountain there. And there's a lot of water, a lot of creeks in here. Surrounds the whole campground. Very beautiful. Let's take a look at some of these campsites. We got our fire for dinner. We're gonna have hot dogs, and you can see our tent back there. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, it's pretty cold out here. Come down here. You can see my bed's here. Father's bed's over there. We got the cushion, another cushion, plastic cushion. And I got this nice light here. Lights up with the phone charger. So unfortunately, we have heard a couple of generators out here, which I didn't know people would bring their generators in their big motorhomes up here, because these spots were really small. All these campground spaces are what would you say, about 25 feet? They're about 25 feet. Maybe some of them are a little bigger, double space, but there's just not enough space for a big motorhome. This is doing pretty good though, and I can feel the heat. This is nice. So we're gonna have roasted hot dogs and some beans. I gotta cook up the beans right now. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna roast the hot dogs on a stick, and we got the buns, and we also got the beans. As you can see, we got vegetarian beans because we don't need the extra fat. We got the buns, a little bit of wine. So we're gonna open up that. And then we have this type of stove. Runs off the small canister. But I mean, you can cook two different things. And then we have one of these. You don't never need a match. You just do this, and it literally sparks. So we have to spark it to get these lit. So that's our dinner today. This is our first night. We're going to spend 3 days here, 2 nights. Tomorrow night we're going to have another fire, cook some more beans, have some salad with it, maybe a hot dog. We'll have to mix it in with everything. But we gathered this wood pretty much right here. We needed pine needles, otherwise this wouldn't have started, and we found it down further by campsite 1. There was a lot of pine needles. Here we couldn't find any pine needles. I'm not even sure why we didn't find pine needles, but there was nothing in this local area. We literally had to cut this grass and use this grass. But we don't have to use the grass anymore. We know where to get the pine needles, and we have some for tomorrow. So we got the campground over here, and this is Lehman Creek. And this creek comes down from the high elevation of the mountain. And it'll go right through both Upper Lehman and Lower Lehman Creek campgrounds. You can see it's going pretty quick. Little falls over there. Now there are fish. They do have fish in this creek in the deeper sections. I don't see any here, but I mean, doesn't mean they're not here. And again, the camp sites are just like this particular site is right here. So you got the table. Tent would be there, and it just seems like this is the way it is through this whole campground. So here you can see Upper Lehman campground is fresh asphalt. They had resurfaced this. They're all seem to be back in. I haven't seen any spots that are pull through. Number 2 is ADA. And you can hear there's a creek down here, and then on the other side there's another creek. Here's number 7. It is a double, or at least there's 2. It's a big area, but I see only 1 picnic table back there. So it's got to be just the one. Actually, there's 2 picnic tables. That is a double site. You would have to pay double for that one. And then the creek is right down there. That's Lehman Creek. Again, these were all back in. I don't see any pull through. And look over here, that's back in. I mean, it's beautiful, a lot of big trees. You can see the mountains, one of the mountains is right there. Here's another back end. It's beautiful, big tree. Another back end, and it goes in a loop. And then there's a second loop for tents only, where the trailhead is. But there's like 22 sites here. So 22 sites, all back in, maybe 1 or 2 ADA accessible. The rest are not. A lot of people have small trailers or they have tents. There's a few tents. Some people sleep in a car. But it's cool. The air is nice. There's a lot of dead trees because I think years past, not this year seems wet, but years past they had droughts and it already succumbed to some of these trees, unfortunately. But that's the circle of life. Here's a dead tree right here, dead one here, back there. That's what happens. But this campground is beautiful. 22 different sites you can choose from. As far as I saw, and we went all the way to the back where the trail was, they're all back in only. And they don't give you a lot of room. So if you had a 40-foot rig, I don't think you're going to be able to get in there. You're going to be sticking out. And the rule was you can't have anything on the road. Let me show you the creek from this campsite. I think this was number 16, but it's not too bad. And the Forest Service is cutting down some dead ones that just looked like they were going to collapse. So right now they're working on Baker Creek and Great Cliffs. They're going to open those in 2 weeks, and they're working on those so they can fix them up so all the big dead trees that could fall will be gone. So from the campsite, most of the campsites along this side have a nice creek to go to. And don't get me wrong, the other side has a creek too, just a little bit smaller. It's clean water. It's very cold. It's like ice cold because I touched it earlier. We hiked up here. We hiked up Baker. Never did see any waterfalls. Not one waterfall, major waterfall. Most of it's just falling off rocks, little stuff. Got some wild turkeys up here. We're on our way to Baker Creek's to the left of us. Those are wild turkeys. Look how beautiful they are. And we heard them this morning in the campground. Real slow there, huh? Look at those. Look at those fans. Look at their tails. They're beautiful. Yeah, they're going down towards Baker Creek. Yeah, they're beautiful animals. There he is. He's going down the hill. And we're coming up to Baker Creek Campground. You can see the little lumps, I think on the left side of the road. Those are squirrels. They're running out on the side. There he is. There's a bunch of squirrels on the road. You can see them all. I think they're warming their bodies up. There was a sign back there that said Marmot Crossing, but we didn't see any marmots. And this is Baker Creek Campground. And it is closed. All right, so I'm standing here at the trailhead for the Baker Timber Creek trails. You can see it comes up. We're not going to be able to go to Baker Lake. There's no way, that's too far. And you can see the creek over here. This isn't too far down the road. It was a dirt road. We drove past Great Cliffs, then Baker Campground, Baker Creek Campground. Now this is the trailhead, which is it's about 1.5 miles to 2 miles past the campground. It's actually not bad. Any car can drive out here. So we're going to be hiking. We're just going to go. We're going to hike up the trail and see how far we can get. See, there's more bridges, and the forest is pretty thick You can see there's different types of trees that are here. Might even see a fish in there somewhere. I don't see anything. So it is a beautiful area, the Baker Creek area. You can see the nice mountain range from here. There was a sign back here that said we're at 8,000 feet right now. It's a beautiful day. It's end of April. So we got the parking, little bathroom. It was pretty steep this last mile of it. Any vehicle can drive it though. Baker Creek Campground is right here, and this is Baker Creek. You can hear it. And we did the hike up there. It was a great hike, great hike. We did 5 miles, maybe a little bit more than 5. It was like a loop. We did a loop around. Fantastic. A lot of snow though at the very top. And then on this side of the tree, you're going to see the valley. We're probably about 7,500 feet in elevation, because up at the trailhead it was 8,000 foot. And you can see the beauty out here. And the opening for the campground is just a little bit up the road a little bit, and it comes down here. So you can almost see the road to the campground in there. This is the Baker Creek Campground. And then Gray Cliffs Campground is down the road a little bit. Beautiful though, beautiful. The BASIN, the mountain, BASIN mountain, BASIN mountain goes. This whole area is like that. We got Gray Cliffs. You can see there's a camp spot there. You can see the cliff side, the little road that goes into the campground, and it's closed just as Baker Creek was closed. They don't open for another 2 weeks. But look at the cliff. This is a beautiful campground. I would stay in this one for sure. So we're driving down to the picnic area of Great Cliffs Campground. I didn't know there was going to be a picnic area, but it's a nice little incline road. Anybody can drive down this, even somebody in a VW, not a problem. Yeah, look at those rocks. That's beautiful. This is awesome looking. I think we're at the Pole Canyon picnic area, and there's a bathroom right here. Road wasn't bad. I mean, anybody can drive any vehicle down this road, just about. Yeah, you can see this is Baker Creek. Oh, there's a small trail right here. There's a small trail. It's a beautiful bridge. All right, this picnic area is pretty nice. You got the creek, Baker Creek, and this trail goes up the Pole Canyon Trail. And on this side you have a lot more water. It's a nice big pool right there. I don't see any fish in that pool. But it's pretty. I don't think we're going to be doing any hiking. We're just going to eat lunch here. But it looks like it goes up and up and over. You can see the cliffs. Once again, Gray Cliffs Campground is just not, it's just like a mile up the road, maybe 2 miles. There was a turn off to it, but there was a gate, so we couldn't get through it. But it's beautiful. You can see the trees. A lot of them don't have their leaves yet. You see the campground circles, goes down, so it's all in the creeks. This is Lehman Creek and this huge glacier. So we're at Mathers Point Lookout. You can see there's like a little meadow right there. We're probably close to 10,000 feet up in elevation. And up on top, you have the Two Lakes Trail, goes around in a circle. That's 10,500 foot elevation. So we're close to 10,000 right here. And this was a glacier, this whole valley. And I'm on this little, it's like a little walkway. And these are just viewers. You don't put quarters in there, you just look. Automatic focus. So this whole area here had fallen down, This whole lump had fallen up from there. It's a great view though, it's amazing. That's like 11,000 or 12,000 foot right here. There's another peak back there. That's probably 12,000. All these aspen trees haven't even bloomed yet. Nothing's bloomed. It's a beautiful place though. Very quiet. We're taking the trail to Lower Lehman Campground. And we were just up here in Upper Lehman, and this is the way in. You come in, and you can also drive up the mountain from here. So we are going on this hike. It's only a little bit more than a half mile, and so far you can hear the Lehman Creek. It's right over here. It's not very far, but the forest is thick along the creek bed. They're very thick forest. There's tons of pine needles. We need to collect some of this stuff for our fire. This stuff lights our fire immediately rather than using paper. This stuff is great. So I have a plastic bag and we're going to load up on some of the stuff. And look at the old forest back there. So it's a short hike, and I will talk to you about how the Lower Lehman Creek Campground and their sites look. It's obviously going to be a little bit, it'll be a little bit less forested, smaller trees I guess you'd say, than the big ones that are up here, because there's at least a 500 foot drop. At least 500. Now this is not a Lehman Creek. This is just a small little creek thing that comes through. So Lehman Creek is still over that way. Eventually they will meet up together. Here we go. This is Lower Lehman Creek Campground, and that's space number 2. Number 1 is actually ADA accessible. This is number 3. Let's take a look at number 3. Follow me. Now, as we look, you can see that it's asphalt. And there's only 9 spaces here, so we're already halfway done with the campground. That's number 4 across the way. It's not bad. This is a pull-through. As you can see, there's a nice cement picnic table. There's a grill, little trail out to the road. The road's right there. I mean, you're gonna hear that road at night. And then you got a little bosque of trees right here. It's not very thick, but it's enough to keep you and number 4 away from each other. We also got the creek, Baker Creek right over there. Oh, sorry. We have Lehman Creek right over here. There is no water right now. This is another site right here. So we got number 5, number 6 right here. I'm not going to show every campsite in here because they're all going to be somewhat the same with a pull-in or a pull-through. You can see it goes out to the main road over here. It's pretty much all the same. The trees are a little bit smaller than Upper Lehman Creek, and you can see you can put 2 vehicles right here, and the trees are smaller, of course. You get the same look. You get your picnic table, you get your grill, and the road is right over there, the main road going up into the mountains. Still, if this is what you had to get, it's still not bad. There's still nature here, and there's, you know, plenty of trees down here. They're smaller. Again, everything's smaller. We are about 500 to 600 feet lower than Upper Lehman Creek, but overall it's a pretty nice campground. I would prefer to be in Upper Lehman than this one, but lower is better than nothing. And in fact, you can actually see the creek right there, right between the trees. You can see it. And then also back this way, there's the creek right there, and you can just walk through here to get to it. So we're going to head back to our campground, which is Upper Lehman Creek. And this is the pull-through. There's a couple of pull-throughs in here. In fact, I counted 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 pull-throughs, and the rest of them are probably back in only. Look at that mountain. You can see it. Look at it up there. Elevation here, I'm guessing it's about 7,000, maybe just under that, just under 7,000. The trailhead is just over here. It's not very far, but you can hear the water, especially on this side. If you have a campground on this side, you can hear the water better than this side where the road is. On this side you hear the road traffic, and that side you hear the creek, which is more attractive. There's a squirrel down there. It's actually water. It's actually some water down there. It's going to be a good climb coming back up. You can see the BASIN out there into the other mountain range. This is a very small campground, this one. So overall, this campground experience here was pretty nice. It was beautiful. It was relaxing. We heard turkeys this morning. We saw herds of elk on the road. I couldn't get those. I couldn't get pictures of them. But there was elk out there. I saw a herd further down near Baker, and the herd on that dirt road going towards Baker Creek. So the ranger had said this is one of the least used national parks, and I can see why. It's out of the way. It's in the middle of nowhere. Baker, I mean, for 100 miles, you can't even find a restaurant, a good restaurant, you know, fast food or a good gas station. There's not much out here, and that's 100 miles away. So if you don't have gas, you have to pay $4.50 in town, which I'm not going to do. So I'm wrapping this up. I appreciate the viewers that give me comments. I do want to come back to this Great Basin National Park. I think it's a wonderful place. A lot of hiking, a lot of hiking. You can't take dogs on the trails, and you can't bicycle it either. So you come here and you use your 2 legs. That's what it's all about. Use your legs. So I want to thank everyone for watching the shows. There's plenty of them out there, 140 shows. Keep watching. I don't get paid. I don't ask for anything. Watch them. If you don't like it, go to another one. If you do like it, you know, send me a message. Say something I missed.